What is up, everybody? It's your main man, Joe Blackburn, joined alongside Blockchain Wayne himself. What up, Wayne?
Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up, CCT? What's up, community?
Yes, sir. So we got kind of a different show today, don't we, Wayne?
Yeah, we do. So this is something, man, we've been wanting to do for a while, just to be able to get out there. There's a lot of things happening in the space, and there's a lot of members in our group in CCT, and there's different communities behind different projects, and a lot of them just want to get their voices heard. But this one was an interesting story.
Sure was.
I don't know, Joe, you want me to go into it?
Sure. Hit it up.
All right. So what happened was we had a member make a post a while back about calling out someone in a particular project, saying that they were scammed. This guy scammed them, and that basically don't trust them, and he had proof from BSC scan. And the one thing we always love to do, if there's a scam out there, we like to bust people. So looked into it. Joe and I talked. Joe actually knew a couple of guys behind it, and so he introduced them to me. We met in person, and I asked some of those hard questions. We met for lunch one day, and just asked some of those hard questions because, we've all been involved, or we've either been hurt or know people have been hurt over the years from different projects that have had, bad intentions and scam people. And there's a lot here. So we figured, let's do some AMAs. Let's bring them on first and ask some of the hard questions. We let the community submit some questions. I dropped the Google Drive link when we made a post the other day about this live. And let's just bring everything to light, because not everything in the crypto space, price is not an indicator of something being a scam, right? There's a lot of scams that have pumped, and there's a lot of legitimate projects that have maybe been slow to take off.
Truth.
There's a lot more to it, and transparency is key, especially when you're dealing with, when you deal with blockchain projects, transparency is going to win all, right, Joe?
Absolutely. No, and you kind of hit the nail on the head already when you said, just because price action happens up or down, it doesn't make it a success. It doesn't make it a failure. It doesn't make it a scam. And, there's so many things. There's an evolution in blockchain, as everybody here has experienced one way or the next, that, we're watching in real time an evolution of business, really concept. Like, how do you turn peer-to-peer into business-to-business or business-to-peer? It's just happening every day, every moment. And some of it's not working and some of it is. And good projects take what's working and they try to mix it in and remove the what's not working, and they mix it in with somebody else's idea. It's a true open source concept here that somebody's going to figure it out, Wayne, and some people already have, honestly. So this specific project, ShineMine, it came to light as Wayne mentioned, and I took a screenshot of the actual post. In fact, I'll put it up right now, Wayne, if that's cool with you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and put it up. 1 second, y'all, just so everybody gets some just understanding of what we're here to talk about. And this is it's the perfect example. So here we are. I blocked out the guy's name. It's on here. It's at CCT. So if you want to go look it up, you can go look at the post. But it says, beware of anything to do with the scam known as ShineMine. And if you know how to use BSC scan, use it to remember the wallets affiliated with ShineMine's creation and refer to the knowledge when approaching any new token, whether it be pre-sale or not. This guy, Noah Newman, literally just scammed an entire $200,000 pre-sale group made up of crypto-ignorant Baton Rouge locals and a few outsiders who heard from someone else. Dude really banked on people not knowing how to find out about phishing attacks. Well, on the surface, it's really not badly written. Just the concept itself. And so, as you said early on, Wayne, it kind of caught your attention, and you were like, interesting. Okay. So, but then you also asked the hard questions to this guy, which actually I probably should have just gotten the whole post and just scan through the comments. I may do that here in a little bit, but in reference to what this guy was saying, and then as the guy started answering the questions that you started, that I picked up afterwards, I at least got the impression that the guy actually didn't know what he was talking about. Like, he wrote a decently good, well-written post about, I could see this potentially being an issue, but then it got to the point of, all right, so what are you talking about, my friend? All right, let's hear about it. And he, all of a sudden, it becomes a little bit more personal maybe than it did actually technically, so on that note, I'm going to pull this down. We'll revisit. Maybe we'll hit some of the comments here in a little bit, but at that moment, Wayne actually reached out, and I introduced them as far as, like, I have a background. I know Adam and I know Noah, two of the founders, and I can say wholeheartedly, in full transparency, neither myself nor Wayne, you speak for yourself as well, but neither one of us are token holders. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a token holder. Doesn't mean I won't be a token holder. Doesn't mean I have anything other than I didn't believe that the guys that I knew, like that are these dudes. I know guys who would scam people, and don't get me wrong, there are plenty of those, but I know in the bottom of my heart, you could never convince me that Noah or that Noah Newman, Adam Inamorado would be scammers. All right. These two dudes are solid guys. Go ahead, Wayne.
I can say, and when I looked them up, I mean, obviously I'm in Louisiana. I'm probably an hour and a half drive from where these guys are. And I know a lot of people in the town, and I looked up some of their business credentials, and these guys are not going to ruin their lifetime reputation that they've built as businessmen in the Baton Rouge area as scammers. So whether or not the project's going to make it or not, that doesn't have anything to do with whether it's a scam or not. Good projects fail all the time, but that's up to these guys to really make it happen. And anything that launches into space, they've got an obligation to put forth their best effort. And it doesn't mean it's always going to work out, but that's the differentiation between that and people that start a project intentionally planning on what we call the quote unquote pulling the rug or any other kind of scam to scam people. So that was the first thing that I looked into and that I saw. And then obviously we've all seen the history of a lot of these mining scams that have come out, that have been around. And so I went through the project and I said, there's some red flags for me, or things that I want to know more about. I would ask questions. And that's when these guys reached out and said, let's meet for lunch. So we met for lunch, and they answered some of the hard questions because it's something that we need to know. If this is something that could hurt people in the space, then they need to know about it. But if it's also something that these guys are putting forth a good effort and they're trying to do something different in the space that could be good for people, then the world also needs to know about that too. So that's why we decided to have this AMA. And, I'll speak as well. I know Joe mentioned a second ago, I don't hold any tokens either. I'm not a token holder of ShineMine. I have, zero hidden interest as far as, hey, you guys need to buy into this. This is not about a recommendation or even a shield fest to say, hey, go out and buy ShineMine. You're not going to hear us say that. We're going to tell you just to look into this project, and also start
scam or not a scam.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want our show to be called Scam.
We need a buzzer button, right?
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But no, we'll be able to bring people on, talk about projects, things that are really impacting the space in a positive light. We'll be able to bring those on, and even some of them that may be questionable, we can ask the hard questions to.
Have some fun.
Because this
get drunk and have some
more
fun.
Transparency. What's that?
We can get drunk and have some fun.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about doing at OnlyFans?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
We'll talk about that later.
We could
naked liquidated. That's what we're gonna call it.
We could bring like people from projects, like founders and stuff, like we're doing here, and have some kind of game with shots, because when people get drunk, that's when they start speaking the truth anyway. So we could have like a shot game or something, right? So
I'm already an easy drunk, so this will be fun. All right, okay. So before we drag this out with irrelevant nonsense here and OnlyFans and getting drunk and all sorts of stuff. Let's go ahead and bring them on. But Wayne, anything else before I pull them in?
No, let's bring them on. We'll ask them some questions. I don't know, Joe, do you have any insight into questions coming in? If anybody wants to drop any questions in the chat.
No, I did not reference, because I actually did not realize I was going to be hosting this, but no, I don't have anything specific. I have some of my own questions. I know that you guys had you dropped the link specifically, and then they had some from their community too. So
yeah, I mean, if anybody's watching the live right now,
I can see if they do drop them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can roll with those too. We got a list of questions that the community has dropped, and some of it's from their community. Some of it's from actually CCT, because I shared the Google Drive link in the post about the AMA, so we can ask there and just listen to what he said. Obviously, if you drop a question and we've already covered it, we may not come back to it on the live, but anything you drop, we can also forward it to those guys that are going to be on and get those questions answered.
All righty. Well, as you start typing, folks, we're going to go ahead and have them on. Here we are. Noah, Adam, welcome to Scam or Not a Scam, episode 1. How do you feel?
What's up, Joe?
Guys?
What's up, Wayne? It's good to see you guys.
Absolutely. Yes. You guys. Thank you guys for having us on tonight, man.
For sure. So we'll jump right into this. Obviously I put up the actually I'll just go ahead and put it up again just for anybody who's just now joining us. I left his name out here. Like I said, it's on the CCT. I'm not necessarily trying to leave his name out. I just just for the purpose of, I don't want to deal with it. If you want to go find out more, you can go check it out. But anyways, it says, again, beware of anything you do with this scam known as ShineMine, blah, 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 blah. I've already read it out. You can read for yourself, press pause and read it for yourself if this is the first time you're seeing it. But man, what a way to get introduced to CCT, guys, right?
Yeah, no kidding, man. We it's been a fun ride. We were kind of blindsided a little bit by those accusations, but
sure.
But here we are to put the record straight.
There we go.
At the end of this, scam or not a scam, Wayne will decide.
Right, Wayne will decide. I'm
glad we'll let the community decide here, right? I don't have a buzzer yet, so we can't really do that. But
no, and obviously, I was kind of joking about the title of that show, or this show, quote unquote. But it really is kind of like one of those things where, I already know who you guys are. So as I've already stated, and you guys heard me say it, because I have a background, there's a very simple answer to that question for me as a person. Like, there's no way that these two dudes that I know would scam. Now, I've actually been wrong about that before. There have been dudes that I've known that have scam people, and I have lost credibility at times. But I want to make this very clear, because I know, especially you, Adam, I've known you longer than I've known Noah, but I know how hard you guys have worked to get to where you are outside of the crypto world. But I mean, both of you have been successful realtors and in real estate industry throughout your young professional relation, or your, I guess, career. Your relationship with the real estate market is essential. Your reputation is essential. So I have nothing but good things to say about the people I've got a chance to meet, meaning me knowing you two. It's been very easy for me to say you guys are good dudes, good businessmen, good principles, good morals, good ethics. But here we are sitting here talking about ShineMine, your company involved in mining Bitcoin, and the questions surrounding it. So before we go any further, why don't you just give us a foundational approach to what you guys are doing and what you're trying to accomplish with your project?
Yeah, for sure, man. So the vision, came to Adam and I a few years ago. We really wanted to get into mining Bitcoin. If you look at what Bitcoin was created to be, go all the way back to the beginning, to Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision. He wanted a decentralized banking system, not controlled by the big banks, right? That everyone could mine and perform and calculate these transactions on their home computers, right? We've really gotten away from that as the years, have gone on. We're becoming more and more centralized in that regard, to the actual ledger and how it's being maintained. You've got, these large corporations that are really taking over, building these mega facilities. And a lot of them are private companies,
Well said.
They're not, they don't have the option. They don't have access for the general public to fulfill Satoshi's original vision. And that's what we want to do here at ShineMine. Is we want to bring a large scale mining operation, and we want to make it accessible to the everyday investor. Mining has got a lot of roadblocks, barriers to entry now, because of the scale that is required to operate.
Absolutely.
So being able to operate at that scale, you're going to get a lot more benefit than your solo mining, or cloud mining, or any of the other ways of mining there are out there today.
That's really well said, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's almost decentralizing mining again in a very simple format. It's coming back, as you said, to the original concept. And I guess the one thing that Satoshi didn't envision was the cost of the mining operations and what it would take. I mean, that was probably the only unforeseeable concept of what was written that could not be addressed, at least on a basic level. Now, fortunately, as a whole, the mining of Bitcoin, centralized, not centralized, it really doesn't deter from the use case. However, there are a lot of people benefiting from exuberant amounts of capital being able to step in, and you guys have looked to solve that. Let the average person come in. How have you guys solved that equation, essentially? I mean, like, obviously you just said that's part of what we're trying, or that is what we're trying to do. Well, what is it exactly that you've done to allow that to happen? What's the economic structure of that?
Yeah, so I guess to begin on that, I'm going to start that with you get to be a miner today with any amount of money, with any amount of experience, in an easy way. It's just as easy as investing in any other coin. But when you hold Shine token, you get to go and stake that and contribute to the overall operation, which is mining. So the operation mines, creates rewards. Rewards are distributed to, to the individuals who have contributed to that by
To the staking pool.
staking.
Yeah.
Right. It's a pool that's in a pool, more or less.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, so meaning the pool is the mining pool that the ShineMine miners are actually attached to, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
The miners are working, day and night, earning rewards, and
Love it. And
those
then you're kind
rewards
of a
are
secondary
distributed
pool,
to token holders.
as in a secondary pool. Like you're a
Yes.
pool within a pool. Like you just that's
Right.
that's an interesting concept. Brilliant. I like the way that you described that. Well said. Okay. All right, Wayne. Wait, I'll let you, if you have any questions specifically, because I could have more questions, but I'll let you kind of is there anything that you want to start off as this process?
Yeah.
That's the foundation. We just laid the foundation.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
dive in, because when Noah and I talked first, we reference history, right? What do we know that's happened historically when it comes to mining and crypto? There's been a lot of good that's come out of mining, but there's
Lots
also
of
been
lots of cloud mining scams.
a lot of cloud
Yeah.
mining scams, right?
Both me
So
and Wayne have been victims.
Yeah.
Wayne
Me
taught me to do
too.
a referral link.
Yeah, man.
Wayne sent me a referral link, everybody, and he was like, "Dude, you got to put in all your money on this." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." So I
No.
did it, and I followed Wayne's lead, and we both lost all our money.
I'll tell you, it was a hard one for
That's
me.
a joke, by the
Big
way.
Club Network was around for 5 years, and I had even, had some friends that I got into it with that I couldn't make the trip, but they traveled to Iceland and saw some of the mining facilities. So, but there was a lot of things that weren't transparent when it comes to that company.
Mhm.
So, obviously, in today's world, we have the technology to be transparent.
Yep.
Everything can be transparent is what we're doing. So, what are you guys doing to be transparent about where you're at with your current state of operation? What's the status of, say, the miners, and is there any plans to also improve on that as well as you guys go forward?
Absolutely. Yeah. So currently, we've shared, every step of the way with our internal communities. We've got communities on Telegram, Discord, followers on Twitter and a whole 9 yards. We've shared with them, on our miner purchases, each time we're adding rigs, what we are implementing here in the very near future. We're hoping these updates can go live in the next week or two. Is we're going to have a live API tracking dashboard on our website. So you'll be able to track, our entire system, every rig plugged in, see the hash rates, see every time a new rig comes online.
You said that's live now, or that's coming?
It's
No,
not
it's going to
live
be
yet.
live.
Okay.
That is currently being developed, and it will be live here in the coming weeks.
Oh, weeks. Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome too, man, because it's going to give everyone an idea about its expansion rate. Because as new equipment comes online, it's able to be viewed by anybody that goes and looks at this open API
Sure.
that's built into the DApp.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Okay. Continue.
Cool.
Go ahead, Wayne.
All right. So on top of that, I guess the other question too that maybe a lot of people may have, which was kind of my question when I first saw the post in CCT and I dug in, first thing I do is go to a website, look at some of the statistics on the site, some of the data that's given as well, but also the stage of the project, where you are in the project. So when did you guys first launch the project, and what stage are you at right now?
Yeah, so we launched, we did a pre-sale. Pre-sale started at the beginning of the year. It ended March 1st, and we launched project March 2nd. So we've been live here right at about 2 months now. And currently, we've already got our first batch of rigs up and hashing. 10 rigs right now are being hosted at a hosting facility, and they're plugging away day and night. So our DApp or DApp is supposed to be launching here probably this coming week, and that's going to give the reward portal to all of our holders.
Nice. And that's important to understand too, whether you guys have been mining for years and just putting this on, or if you are in the early stages. So you're still in what can be considered kind of the early infant stages of
Absolutely, yeah,
of a project, right? Of a launch. Okay.
And I'd like to take this time to thank our sponsor, Bitcoin, for today's show. Bitcoin, for all your peer-to-peer needs. As you can see, Wayne is, and someone alluded to in the comments, it specifically says, Wayne looks like a walking Bitcoin billboard with the swag. And if you notice really closely, his shirt, it says Bitcoin Siaga, as in, I don't want to allude to any other brand that might sue us since they're not the one sponsoring.
Yeah, there's another brand that sells a shirt for a t-shirt for $400. So
So this one's only what is $400 divided by Satoshis?
This one's only going to sell for Satoshis, and I'll
How
announce
much?
that
How much?
project whenever they start
How
printing
much?
the gear.
Okay, fair enough. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Scam or not a scam? Well, I'll have to. No, I'm just joking. I want
Go
one of
ahead
those
and
jackets so
forward
bad.
right
It's so tight.
Yeah, actually, the project that's going to be making this, they were in Miami, and I grabbed one of the prototypes and said, okay, I'm keeping this one.
Legit. Did you really just grab one of the prototypes? Say I'm keeping this one.
It's one of our business partners in the
Okay, fair
Miami
enough.
Crypto Experience.
Because I would have been
yeah.
like, that's so tight.
Yeah, no, it wasn't some random person. I'm like, I'm keeping this. It was
No. I mean,
yeah.
obviously, I didn't think that was the case. But all right, moving on. So obviously, with the concept, with it's mining centric, you are literally doing actual mining, real mining rigs at real mining facilities. And let's get some insight on that. What mining facilities are we talking about?
So currently, right now, our rigs are being hosted at a facility in Iowa. We got a great rate with these guys, great contract with them. But Adam and I are also building out our own hosting facility right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's going to be coming on live here as well in the next couple weeks. So we've got a busy few weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, it's a big month coming up.
Yes. And speaking of your location, I mean, I've lived in that area. I lived there for almost 10 years, and you drive around everywhere. There's oil rigs all across the area. I mean, all the way up Mississippi, all the way down, the river. I mean, everywhere. And there's also a lot of natural gas being burned off. So it seems like that y'all may be able to take advantage of that at some point. I'm sure that's got to be in your roadmap somewhere, but maybe not publicly.
Absolutely. Yeah,
but...
look, we've got really competitive rates here. Louisiana is actually the cheapest energy in the nation. So we're definitely going to be able to be very competitive and have some great hosting rates for ShineMine.
No, it's really exciting. Being that I have lived in that area, and I've never actually lived in Baton Rouge, but I've lived in Mississippi across the line, which is only an hour away. I've seen the energy resources firsthand, and how much, and it's all across the state of Louisiana, not just Baton Rouge, but there is, like you acknowledged, I mean, there's really cheap energy around, and sometimes some of that energy can literally be free if the technology like exists to go and capture, like, especially with the natural gas being burned off all over the place. All right, so being that you guys are host, you got your host set up, you got good rates going on, Iowa, good stuff, plans for things in the future. Let's talk about scalability. And when I say scalability, I mean, yes, obviously your growth, like how possible is the growth, but not just, is it only based off of more people coming in now? And this is where, and of course I'm being objective here, right? So I mean, as much as I like you guys on personal level, this is a professional concept here. I owe it to the community, I owe it to Wayne, I owe it to you guys, to be fair, so I look at what is the potential that you guys continue to grow. That's my biggest, if I'm a impartial wannabe token holder, right? And I'm looking in, it's great to think, hey, look, I can buy these tokens, but these tokens already exist. So how can I ensure that my piece of the mining actually comes out, and I'm getting, not just a little bit each month, but maybe it continues to grow. And I'm not necessarily talking about the token price. Okay. So I know that's something as founders, you guys probably need to stay away from, and I respect that, but let's talk about the actual operation itself. How can I be assured that you guys are going to continue to put rigs out there and I'm going to get a piece of this?
I'm glad you asked, Joe. That is a great question, because it goes to the core of our offering more than anything else. Is that our token pays out every week, of course, but it takes a portion of the total rewards created, okay, and it allocates that to expanding, acquiring new rigs and equipment, so that if no one ever invests in it ever again, the operation will continue to grow, and the rewards paid out to everyone will continue to grow, even in a bear market.
That's awesome. Hold on. That is a great answer, by the way. And I was trying to be a little bit tough of a question asker there. That is the best answer you could have given me. Continue. I'm sorry.
Even in a bear market, which people have been kind of speculating about this current market. Sure. I don't particularly want to get too into it, but I am an eternal optimist, so I'm going to put it like that.
Perma bull, baby, perma bull.
Which could be good or bad. But regardless of that, a perk of mining is that it generates worth and value all the time, because it's equipment, it's the arbitrage of power rates, it's contributing to Bitcoin. It's almost like being partners with Bitcoin,
powered by Bitcoin.
That's
Yeah,
it.
powered by
Add
Bitcoin.
that.
Actually,
Gotta get right to it.
I gotta give Wayne credit there. He kind of said something like that earlier. So I was trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
steal his thunder there. He is powered clearly
Yeah.
by Bitcoin today. Look at him.
He
Hey,
is.
man,
No,
promoting
but
the swag.
that's right.
And
That's right.
I can create these without any kind of trademark.
Wayne owes
infringement,
me a
right?
hat for the record that he reminded me of because I'd forgotten. And then he was like, "Oh," because I was like, "Hey, I got my white hat. It got stained." And he's like, "Oh, I owe you another one." And I was like, "I forgot about that." Okay, cool. So you
Yep,
sold
yep.
yourself out. All right.
All
But
right,
going
guys.
back, bear market or not, it's
Mhm.
got potential to growth and scalable because the rewards, regardless of, you don't need a new investor or a new token holder, for example, and or in other words, should I say, to come in and maintain this network. I mean, obviously, people. It seems like the economic structure, the tokenomic structure encourages people to want to be part of this based off results, which obviously results in blockchain can take a while. I know, Wayne, that you have a bunch of questions you're going to get to, but I think that these are all relevant, so bear with me. So the tokenomic structure should encourage by default, by the way that the concept is actually written out, and the way that it executes, it should encourage people to have to like literally be like screaming, "I got to be part of this!" Right? There's a lot of opportunity, at least for growth at least on the surface level. Do you, or what are some of the personal like pushbacks that you're hearing from the community? What are people getting frustrated with or concerned with, especially in a bear market? You're going to have those, but are we in a bear market? I mean, by technicality, maybe we are. I don't know.
Short term, man.
I don't feel like me and Wayne have been around a long time to know what a bear market is, and we're so high above that bear market that this is all still up to us,
Look,
right?
bear
So,
markets usually catch you by surprise, you know,
mean-
and this has just been a long sideways trending period, you know.
correct.
Yeah, but I guess to speak a bit on the community's
Pushbacks, yeah.
right.
What are some of the things that they're saying? And
Is
we
that
might hear some of that. Wayne's got all the questions too. I shouldn't
Yeah,
steal
yeah.
all your thunder, Wayne.
Sure. I think that more than anything, the community just wants it to be up and growing and expanding and operating, because the core offering is we're paying out every week BNB, okay, which is going to begin in a week, and everyone's just like, man, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it
Oh,
coming?
yeah.
It's only been launched now for like 2 months, right?
Mhm.
And so this is early
Yeah,
stage.
we're 8 weeks into this project, you know.
That's a great
and
point.
good news of that, though, okay, this isn't an excuse. Oh, it's been only 2 months, I can't do anything. No, it's only been that time, and everything is coming. The equipment's online, and the rewards are going to begin to be paid out every week next week.
All right, fair enough. All right, I was about to again. I know Wayne's got a lot of questions, so I'm going to let him get to those questions here. So Wayne, go ahead before I ruin everything.
Yeah. All right. So kind of
I
answer
like
the
how he
first
didn't
question.
even say you're not ruining everything. He's just like, yeah, you're right. Let me go and before you ruin everything. Go ahead, Wayne.
I mean, I'm just trying to take over. I see you keep drinking over there, man. I got to get going before you get into it.
Hey, you got at least 15 more minutes before it kicks in. So
I know. All right. All right. So you've already answered a bunch of the questions already, just from some of your answers. But how long does it take from the time you order the machines to when it'll be set up and running?
Anywhere from 7 to 21 days. So just depending, on what supply chain is looking like at the time of order. We're ordering directly from a first tier distributor from Bitmain. So our orders are usually grouped together with a larger order to guarantee best pricing for us. So 7 to 21 days, and they are plugged in and up and hashing.
Nice. All right. So what about the equipment? Is it insured? And also, what's the life expectancy of each machine?
It is okay. So speaking to that, it gets complicated there. The complicated part is if you're trying to replace it. Okay, you have the replacement costs and the actual cost of the equipment, right? So there's a bunch of companies that don't want to cover this. This is becoming an exclusion because they don't understand how to deal. But the good news about that is there are options out there if you treat it like it's computer hardware only. And for us, it is partially covered. But it isn't ideal regardless because it would take months of getting it, replaced. And so to us, the priority number one is that the equipment is always online and it's kept in a place that it isn't going to get destroyed or rob, or
Overheated.
anything crazy. So prevention is priority to us. But even if it's, a terrible event occurs, the project can survive. Yeah.
Nice.
It makes a lot of sense. I've got a question. I got an add-on question to that. How often? I mean, I don't know enough about mining. This might be a pretty ignorant question for me to ask. So feel free to tell me this is an ignorant question to ask. But how often will these pieces of equipment need to be completely replaced just to be competitive?
Well, and I think that was the second part of that question there.
Was there a second part? My bad. Go ahead, Wayne.
no,
Jeez, here I go again.
On average, these ASICs, they're running 3 to 5 years. Now, again, a lot that has a lot of variables, depending upon how fast innovation's happening in the space. How fast are new rigs coming out?
Let's just take from the past. What's been the examples? I mean, what is
3 to 5 years on average usually.
Okay, well, that's better than I thought.
Now,
actually, I was going to say 12 to 18 months.
No.
If I had to guess,
Yeah, no, it's you're going to get at least 3 to 5 years of good profitability out of them, and then potentially even more depending on your energy rate.
Yep.
That's fair.
So if you've got a pretty low energy rate and your cost to run them is low, you're going to stay profitable longer than the next guy with a higher energy cost.
Okay, makes sense. Go ahead, Wayne, before I say something out of line again.
Good. All right. So the next question that came in, and I know this is kind of a variable question too, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. So how much can one machine mine, and what is the return on investment for each machine?
It's going to depend on the equipment. All right. So the equipment can be either mine Bitcoin, Litecoin, Doge, Monero. Plenty of coins out there, right? Also, the cost of the equipment depends on each individual rig. They could cost a couple grand. They can cost 50 grand, right? And so the expensive ones can, typically do more. In the current environment, the ROI on equipment is between 12 and 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that's really not bad though.
Taking into account the equipment that we're running, the specific models that we're running, ROIs are looking anywhere from 12 to 18, with the current market conditions.
But the more miners you have, the more likely that increase or that time frame decreases. Correct.
Well, if it gets our cost of operating lowered, then yes, it increases our ROI and speeds up everything.
Okay, fair enough. That's probably another question I just stole.
No, these are all good questions, and really, this is not just specific to ShineMine's questions, right? These are industry standards. A lot of the questions when it comes to mining. So these are questions that people had even before looking at whether I'm going to mine myself, I'm going to go to a hosting facility, or I'm going to participate in something like you guys are creating with ShineMine. Everybody has those questions when it comes to mining. And we'll dig into that a little bit. So one of the questions from the community also said, when will claiming rewards be available for Shine holders? You mentioned that earlier, Adam, right?
Mm-hmm. It should be by the end of next week, upon the launch of the DApp. We're expecting that next
Friday. Wednesday to Friday, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's live on the test net right now. We're just working out last minute kinks and hopefully rolling it out by the end of the week. So
a lot of people don't realize there's a lot that goes into putting these contracts online and making sure that they're safe, they're secure, work all the bugs out. You never want to launch anything without without running it through a test now, without trying to break it first.
That's such a good point.
So there's a question here, which ties right into that. So is there security with the token and the staking contract from getting hacked?
Yes. So our smart contract is audited by third-party auditors, so it is safe, secure. That is why we're running it in testnet right now. Why we are double, triple checking everything before we go live, before we launch.
No, I actually want to make a quick statement. This isn't really about ShineMine specifically, but since you guys are in this role, what a lot of people don't realize, and this is kind of what you're alluding to, Wayne, is that, when you go and you put your contract out there on the blockchain and it's official and everybody can see it, you're not worried about what Joe Blackburn thinks about the actual, contract. What you're worried about is, can somebody come in and destroy my contract and steal all my stuff? That's what an audit is designed to do. It's designed to go through, does this thing work and is it safe? Mainly the blockchain is it's so transparent. You can't really get away with a non-working blockchain, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. I mean, the moment someone tries to send something or do something, whether it works or not, it's pretty apparent. But what is not apparent is when you're doing something on blockchain, you're attracting an exorbitant amount of attention from hackers and from bad actors who want to scam your community or the project itself. And so what audit is actually designed to do is, yes, does it work? But more importantly, is it safe, secure, and is it going to get hacked? And that's essentially where we're at. And every day you're going to see some project. I mean, like even the Bored Ape Yacht Club had a hack the other day. And this is one of the biggest name brands in all of crypto right now. Their Instagram got hacked. And when someone entered their Instagram, they put in a fake, smart contract, which emptied up people's accounts and stole all their assets from their account. I mean, it's a brilliant hack. It's unfortunate that it happened, but these things exist. So obviously security is a huge priority to everybody in the blockchain. But I know that being miners, you guys are concerned about this too. I mean, you're constantly mining Bitcoin. You're supposed to be paying these rewards out. If you guys get hacked, you can't pay rewards out, which means that nobody's going to trust you ever again. How are you preparing for this besides your audit? I mean, like what kind of, you guys got the security. I guess you can't go into a lot of detail. You don't want to tell all your secrets, but surely at this point you guys are being safe and secure.
Yeah, it's just very important to us that we do not get exploited, that we do not get ruined and hacked or anything like that. And so the strategy has been to get eyes on it, to get experienced eyes reviewing everything, trying to exploit it after it is not live yet, right? And then after it goes live, then it's as good as it could possibly be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's really not a lot of second chances in the blockchain. I mean, that you get one chance, you better do it right. So, all right, moving on, Wayne. What's next?
All right. So, this one is more about sales pressure on the token. So what are your plans to combat sales pressure from wallets beginning to unlock?
Okay. So the concentration for us is on the mining operation. So the plan of attack is to grow and expand the operation, right? To create more and more rewards. And I believe that if we can accomplish that, which is being accomplished now actually, and continue to grow, then everything else is going to be great as well. So that's basically the approach that I take in regards to, the speculation aspect of it, is that I'm going to do good on the operations end. It'll be a good project, and then you can speculate what it'll do from there.
So yeah. That really is our main focus here, is just continually, keeping our head down and building this project, utility wise, and growing that, adding rigs in, weekly, monthly here, and we'll let the project, do price wise what it wants to do. But that's what we can do,
Yeah, and to be fair, anybody watching, they're bound by the laws that exist to be very careful about answering that question. So I appreciate the way you guys kind of were able to articulate the answer to that without, putting yourself in position. But in the future, if you ever ask, if you are watching this and you ever go to the team and you're like, any team in crypto, period, at all, it doesn't matter who you're talking about. Like if it's CZ or if it's, Joe Schmo from nowhere land. If you ask them about the price of the token, you're going to get hit with the exact same answer, because nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to do, especially if these are people who are really, if you ever hear a founder talking about the price of token, you should automatically know that founder more than likely does not give a crap about the actual utility of the token, that they're really just trying to make you and convince you to buy this so that their price of the token will go up, and that they can get out of there quicker, because more than likely that person is going to jail, especially if they're an American. So good answer, by the way, and we appreciate that. But remember this, folks, stomp your feet. Remember that if you ever hear a founder mention the price of the token, you're dealing with somebody who's probably a bad actor. It's just an easy way. I mean, immediately I already know. Wayne, I know that you know that too. So, but yeah. I mean, it happens, and that's an easy way for me to say, get away.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and I was going to say the same thing. A great answer, because that's what's going to drive more value to the people that want to be in the community, that want to hold the token, that want to earn rewards for participating in mining. They're more worried about the longevity. Is this thing going to last? Not can you take us to the moon, right? Because we've seen what's happened. I mean, there's projects that launched last year that pretty much went to the damn moon, and now a year later, some of those projects are being investigated just because of what's happened. That's so right. It's better in the space to build longevity.
I wonder who you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm not going to say.
No,
But I mean, actually, that could apply to 2 or 3 projects I'm thinking of right
fair
now.
enough.
But
I was making a joke.
Yeah.
and I think community gets pumped and hyped off a price action, but that's not the underlying factor. Something can pump and dump and be a scam, and something else could be a legitimate project, and you could still see that initial pump drop in price. But as long as the project is building true utility and use case
Yep.
into this, that's gonna looking to solve an issue with current systems, and in your case, you mentioned what that solve is to bring more people in, give more people access to mining. So that leads to a question I'd like to ask that I personally like. I didn't submit a question, but I've got a question I want to throw in here about this, because we've talked about like kind of your vision as far as what ShineMine is here to do to bring more people into mining, to decentralize it more. You're executing those rewards off of a staking contract, which is a great concept, which will allow anybody to participate and earn. And with that staking, what are the plans to eventually roll out maybe a governance model to be more structured like a DAO as you continue to grow?
Hey, I am
Wow.
glad you asked, and it's funny because we didn't talk about that much.
No.
That is actually, I think, in our roadmap. If you look a few quarters out here, our end game is to eventually renounce the rights to this contract and turn this into Shine DAO. We knew early on, though, it was going to be very arduous for us individually as founders, and any organization starting out is going to have to be centralized to an extent, So, starting off, it didn't make sense. We didn't have all the pieces in place to just go DAO from day one. But that is absolutely something that we have our eyes set towards, and that we're working towards. Without going into too much detail about the future, it's on the roadmap, and it's something that could be in place even by the end of the year. But that is the goal here, and to go to Shine DAO and make this into a governance token. So yeah. You're spot on, I think, with your train of thought there.
Wayne's a smart guy. That was it's a very interesting concept to add into this. We actually do have a question from the audience, and it is from Craig Saint Amat. How do we stake a locked wallet? And he asked you. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are able to answer immediately, or or whatever. Just have at it.
Yeah. So what he's referring to there is, during our pre-sale, we did our first round of the pre-sale, and the pre-sale wallets were locked upon token launch. So they're still locked. We're going back and forth on really how we're going to solve that. It's not a ton of wallets. It's probably 50 or less.
Sure.
But it's important to us to give everyone an opportunity to participate, to earn those rewards.
Just to be clear, early on, a lock wallet's a lock wallet, but they didn't have the ability to stake early on. But now you're trying to make sure that, people
give them the ability to stake.
At the moment, they don't have that ability. You guys are trying to figure that out. Okay. So Craig is asking.
We're just going to do manually. Thankfully, it's not a ton of wallets, so it is something that we'll have the time for. But it's going to be a case by case basis.
Sure. No, it makes sense. So hopefully, Craig, that answers your question, at least the best that it can.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to bring up one more thing, Wayne, and obviously we appreciate you guys' time, ShineMine team, and Adam and Noah. You guys, seems like you are working really hard. I'll give my opinion when you guys are no longer here, so you can't be mad at me. I'm just joking. No, well, me and Wayne will talk a little bit once we take you guys off and give our insight on how to look at this, be objective, how to truly, do at least the best you can to I don't want to say predict the market in any way, but to give at least yourself the insight to make a personal decision on how to do things. I know Wayne's been very successful with this, and I've gone back and forth. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, but long and the short is, everything here is chance. You guys are taking a chance yourselves. You're putting a lot on the line. Noah and Adam, is this your full-time role? Are you guys still doing your real estate endeavors? Wait, where do you guys stand? I think this is a great question for the community to hear. Is this your full-time, give it a chance?
We have been given all of the hours that this needs. So yeah, I'm going at it every single day. Noah is too. And it's included us going out of town. It includes us being on speaking to you guys in the evenings on a weekend, which I love to do and to be a part of the community. But yes, we are fully committed to this, to giving it whatever it takes.
That's awesome,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, this is my full-time job here, is making this work and delivering really an awesome project to all of the project members out there.
Well, I heard that. Well, that's it from me on this side. Wayne, you got anything else you want to ask, or any other questions that they had by chance?
I had a few questions left, and we can go through them pretty quickly. So, minimum the
just so you know, at the very end, I want to go over the drama. I didn't want it to be the focus, Wayne. I didn't want it to be like, hey, let's just talk about the drama the whole time. I want Noah to get a chance and Adam to give a chance to address that. Just so you know, so at the very end, we'll do that next. I mean, after you're done with the questions, go ahead.
Yeah. So, is there a minimum stake for ShineCoin?
Nope.
Seed round, no minimum here. No.
All right. After the staking period is complete, will you restake, or can you leave it stake and still receive?
Yeah, so you will be able to continue earning rewards at whatever level you were staked at. I know it.
So congrats on that. All right, Wayne. So I want to ask him a little bit more about the drama and get a little response. We'll put the question back up. Do you have anything before we get into that part?
That's it. Let's jump into it.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to put that question back up. I got it right here. 1 second. So Noah, I want you to read this to us. I don't know if you can see this, but let's hear it from the words out of your mouth. The words that were coming at you.
I even tagged them in the post too.
Oh yeah. No, I was put on blast, man. No, man, this I mean, do you want me to read it out loud?
I want you to read it to everybody. I want these guys' words to resonate. Ring the bell.
Beware of anything to do with the scam known as ShineMine. And if you know how to use BSC Scan, use it to remember the wallets affiliated with ShineMine's creation and refer to that knowledge when approaching any new token, whether it be pre-sale or not. This guy, Noah Newman, literally just scammed an entire $200,000 pre-sale group made up of crypto-ignorant Baton Rouge locals and a few outsiders who heard from someone else. Dude really banked on people not knowing how to find out about phishing tactics. Whew.
I never even got the phishing tactics part, but anyway, let's get back
well,
to the
I mean, like I said, on when you first read it, it's not poorly written. Like what he says here literally could make sense under the right circumstances. Sure. And I want to be very clear about that especially when I heard this. Yes, I have an opinion on what I think about you two gentlemen, obviously, but I don't have an opinion on if this is true or false. Like if it's true, I have an opinion. If it's false, I have an opinion. But as it currently stands, as when he wrote this, at least at the time, this is reasonable to look at and say, okay, maybe I do need to look at this further. So just on the surface level, Noah, I know that this has been a couple weeks now, so it's not as fresh as it was, but tell us your response. What is you and Adam's response to this?
Look, at first we were completely caught off guard. What is he even talking about? So we dug and we dug and we dug. And finally we realized that on BSC Scan, if you look, there is a spot that says contract owner. And there's also another line that says contract creator. We purchased our contract from a third-party contract creation service. All right. Don't want to name drop any names there or anything for legal reasons, but you can look it up. It says their name
on the blockchain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the very first deployment, probably.
Yes. Yep. So based off of some of the there's some other messages with that user there, and he referred to specific projects that we were phishing people with.
Sure.
And upon looking into it, he was looking at that contract creator and every contract that they were
thousands
creating,
of coins.
hundreds or dozens a week.
Sure.
They're a large company out there, trusted, reputable in the space, one of the biggest ones out there. So he's looking at every project they're creating and thinking that is us creating these projects, many of which may have been phishing tactics.
Sure. No, but the easiest way to say this is that the guy, at least initially, his intent, I don't want to speak for him, and I know that you probably have a different opinion to this, but from the outside, myself, Wayne's perspective, looking in, the guy may have meant well, even giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I would argue that because
hold on. Well, I'll let you get to that
at the beginning.
But initially speaking, you could almost say that the intent could have been, hey, this is all pleasantly, from his side, he's just trying to protect the community. But then there's some more facts that came out, and this is what really drove me to want to stand up for you guys.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate that.
Well, no, hold on.
after
I want you
they-
to tell them what happened next. Yeah, I think this is all relevant.
So the good guy, right, tried to extort us to get us to basically, or extort us, and in exchange, he isn't going to go and tell everyone that it isn't a good
yeah,
project.
there was
and
a
to blast
20
us.
B&B ransom
Yeah.
demand,
Not even that much money in the big scheme of things. Like,
an anonymous ransom demand of 20 B&B, or they would post this information. But clearly, this could have all been avoided, guys.
so
This
so
was-
clearly he posted it, which means no ransom was paid.
yeah. So no ransom was paid.
And also, all right, so I have to address intent, because intent is so important. I totally get that people get confused, there are
Exactly.
misunderstandings, especially because money's important to people. I get that. It's important to me too.
That's why most people are in this space, unfortunately.
Right. But the intent, okay, you could ask us. I'm here. I will talk to you. I'm all over the place. All of my information is everywhere. You can talk to us. You can ask us. We'll be glad to go over it.
You guys are docs too.
Personally attacked me too, which I get it. It's part of it, but I don't like it. It's not. It isn't speaking to his intent being anything good.
No, I understand. No, the extortion part was when I found that out. That was like the big loser aspect of this all. When he was willing to not say all this stuff. I mean, obviously, you guys have explained yourselves. It makes complete sense. And when you explained it to me, Noah, when I called you personally to ask you about what was going on, because I mean, I was genuinely concerned as well. I was like, "Uh-oh, dude, like this isn't good luck." And he's like, Noah, the first you were like, I don't even know what's going on. And then you came back to me and you're like, this is what happened. Right. So I was much more authentically like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So just to be clear, everybody, if you're just joining us now at the very end here, what I can say easily is that the first things first, that this guy came out, wanted to say all these bad things. This is a scam, stay away, trying to warn people off. Comes to find out, guy was going through the blockchain. Look at the very end. There was a third party contract creator, the third party contract team that creates tokens regularly as their service. They've made, both. I mean, it's a decentralized concept here, right? You make it. This is what you need. This is what you get. You guys asked them to create this contract. They did. You got it audited. Everything's good to go. But they've also created other tokens that may or may not be pleasant, may or be the best project ever. I mean, it's really irrelevant to what you guys are doing, because it's those models are probably very cookie cutter in the sense. With that being said, next, the guy tries to extort you guys for 20 BNB, not even a lot of money. I mean, obviously
20 Ethereum.
Not
20 Ethereum.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 20 Ethereum is a little bit more than 20 BNB, Adam. So
yeah.
But so that is more money. But still, I mean, like
grand.
you're in this era, you see a lot of people asking for 2,000 ETH or something along those lines. All right, but to get to the final of it is that you guys were able to come up with what he was trying to see, understand that this person was definitely out of their mind, asking and requiring and just trying to make your lives miserable. So I can say this very clearly with a full heart that I do not believe you're a scam. I believe that you're a great, honest project as far as what you're trying to accomplish. Will you execute it? I hope that's the case. I have no reason to believe that the two guys that I know won't be working and doing everything they can to make it work. That is not necessarily an endorsement per se on your actual token or go buy this now. I can say this. I know you two. I know you're working your butt off. I'm more intrigued than I ever have been.
Awesome, man. No, we appreciate that, man. We're super thankful for you guys having us here tonight. I know took time out of y'all's busy schedule on the weekend to sit down with us and chat, and we really appreciate that, guys.
Hey, well, we appreciate you, man. And Wayne, anything else before we kick them off?
No, definitely. Thank you guys for the time as well. I mean, this is something that's needed in the space, is a lot of transparency. And when I sat down with Noah and I was sitting across the table face to face, I told him, I said, the biggest thing for your project is going to be transparency, because there's people that have been in space for a while have been burned, and there's other people that are ignorant on stuff, and they'll get burned by certain projects and certain scams that are out there. So for you to continue to grow and last that, be that project that's going to last in the space, you've got to be transparent. Yeah. And, that everything, he's told me, I believe we've seen, and they're going to continue to be transparent with what they do. Everything's visible on the blockchain. I do have one suggestion for you as you grow your roadmap is adding staking rewards. You're getting more people incorporated into mining Bitcoin, but they're not running the machines. You guys are running the machines. Maybe if you can work in like an added incentive or something, to where maybe they run a Bitcoin node as well, or maybe work that into the DApp.
That'd be awesome.
Because I love to teach people all the time, hey, you may not be able to mine Bitcoin, but you can run a node.
You can run a node. That's right.
In the governance of it. Yeah, you're not going to earn mining rewards, but you can run your own node.
No, yeah, and that's cool. Really, I see that as all of our luxuries to be able to do that. Like people don't realize how big of a deal that is. So, anyways, but all right, guys, Noah, Adam, we appreciate you coming on. Me and Wayne going to take a few more minutes before we sign off to kind of discuss a little bit about this and give some insight on how we plan on maybe doing this in the future, even more so. So, we appreciate you guys staying on. If you want to stay in the lobby, we'll catch up with you guys afterwards.
Absolutely, appreciate it, guys.
All right, ShineMine. Oh, wait. Tell everybody where to find you.
Yep.
ShineMine.io.
That's it. Yeah, ShineMine.io across all of our platforms, all of our socials, and that's our website. So,
what about on Twitter? How can they find you on Twitter? No, I still hope you have that cool Twitter name.
It is, man. Yeah, you can find me personally on at Twitter.
What is it?
Real Mega Chad.
I love it,
man.
Say it again.
Yeah,
that's my trading persona.
He is at the Real Mega Chad.
Real Mega Chad. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to follow that account just because of the name. It's kind of cool. All right. How about you, Adam?
It isn't anything as cool as that. It's just AK Inamorado. The spelling, it's
hard to spell. All right. Inamorado. It's almost hard to say. All right. No, it's okay. We'll edit it up. We'll make sure we put some stuff on there. Okay, guys. Thanks again for joining us, man. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time, boys. ShineMine.io.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
All right, Wayne. So, scam or not a scam? First episode down. Seems like it was a success. As I said on there, I was really eager to be able to say I do not think they're a scam, but whether I think that or not, I want to hear what you have to think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's not a scam. I feel it's not a scam. I feel strongly about it. But like you said, I mean, whether it's going to happen or not, that's really up to those guys to execute. Yep. There's a long road to go. Some other feedback I gave to them when we sat down face to face was, be more clear about your roadmap. They've got a roadmap out there, but just really transparent as far as what it's going to be, where you're going to go, and build that vision. And as long as they keep working towards that, I think they could be legit, but it's definitely not a scam. You know, there's a lot of projects in the space that we've heard, even some ones that people have talked about in this group over the years that just didn't make it. It wasn't a good project, but they weren't exactly scams.
Yep.
You know, same here. These guys have got their work cut out for them. And it's up to them to execute and build a good team around them that's going to help execute. Because, you know, Noah mentioned it earlier, and I kind of told him this when we sat down. Decentralization is an ideal state, but nothing starts decentralized. Bitcoin started on Satoshi's computer. Then It went to Hal Finney's computer, which could have been the same people. I don't know. My personal feeling that it might be them. But
Hal was number one.
Right. But at the same time, all these projects, even DeFi, decentralized finance, when those projects launch, they are heavily centralized. That's why you hear about those contract exploits and things being drained. But what is a project scaled plan to move to a truly decentralized nature? Because decentralization, it's not black or white, it's a scale. You're going to start out heavily centralized. As you put the pieces in place and you want to move to that decentralized model. And
I mean, Ethereum is a great example of that. Ethereum was heavily centralized very early on because nobody was using it. I mean, it had to start somewhere, right? And since then, it's become one of the most decentralized concepts in all the world, let alone, on the blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah. So these guys, hopefully they can make it happen. They seem like great guys, seem like, that their heads in the right space of what they're doing. Obviously, after meeting them and kind of doing my own research on those guys personally, and their professional lives before getting into crypto, it'd be laughable to think that they would try to scam people over a couple $100,000 when they've got great reputations as business people and where they are. So that's what you want to look at. And some projects, I can tell you right now, if you're looking at a project and the founders or the people that are building it are not publicly doxxed, like they're not open about it, then you should be questionable. Yes, I know Satoshi wasn't publicly doxxed, but at the same time, it took a long time to get where Bitcoin is today. Bitcoin is a great project. There's also a lot of great things that can happen in the space from Bitcoin, from blockchain, from other projects that are building. But in the early stages, it's important to know who you're putting your trust in, because that's so really what it's about, right? Trust.
Yep. And I'll even go as far as say yes, like you said, is a great example. Satoshi was not doxxed. He was anonymous. He was anonymous for maybe, if he is still alive and it wasn't Hal Finney, maybe this is what he always saw, or she for that matter, always saw and envisioned, and whatever. Thank you, Wayne. But you know who is doxxed? Vitalik. And that is the second biggest project in all of crypto land, maybe the first by when it's all said and done. Who knows? But you know, to the ShineMine's credit, they are doxed, and as you noted there too, that they've got a reputation and a long lasting reputation that they've built to be substantially, you know, career oriented in their fields for a long time, and they've left that to come do this. A couple $100,000 raised ahead of time, not even $1 million, right? I mean, this is something to be, and I probably should have brought that up too, or asked them how much they raised. They raised just a few $100,000 to get this thing going, and I respect that a lot. And they've actually got machines.
Yeah, and they put in quite a bit of their own money as well. You know, so it's definitely in the space. You know, and they're actually solving a need, because think about what the mining scams that are out there preyed on, the cloud mining and all those other projects that were fake mining. They preyed on people's interest and people's, you know, people's need, their desire to want to mine.
Yep.
And that interest is still there today. So
Absolutely.
give them a legitimate way to do that without saying, you know, if you look at the price of a ASIC miner right now, you're going to pay 10 to 20,000 depending on which one you get. It's not feasible for everybody, but people can start to participate.
That's exactly right. And not to mention the fact that it's so hard to just get started anyways in mining. This is the only solution I've heard of that I would probably have gotten into early on. So at this point, with all the scams that have been out there. Anyways, job well done, ShineMine. Thank you for coming on again. You guys, I know it's not easy to take the kind of criticism. I mean, it's easy to take it in your own community when it's there, but we just put it on blast. It was put on blast in the public community. We did not delete it. I did personally, Joe Blackburn turned off the comments because it seemed like this guy was starting to get really out of touch with what was really going on up until that point, though. 2 days, there was 2 days it was up there. By that time, at the very end, I was like, this is a little bit unfair. And Wayne was kind enough to offer his time to them and say, hey, look, I'll just AMA you and we'll get to the bottom of this. And so it made it very easy for all of us. Anyways, all right, guys, until next time, though, we will see you soon on Scam or Not a Scam episode 2. We'll let you know when that's coming up.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right, everybody. Until next time.